This is a practice you can do sitting, if you like. When we're working with the breath, it's good to have lots of room to breathe. One way that we can do that is to make sure that we're sitting upright with lots of length through the spine. So bring your mind as we start to your body and the space your body is occupying. Let your mind come in from other places, other times. Be conscious of your body, your breath, your mind, your observing of this space in which it's all arising. It's always good to start a practice by the centering and grounding, coming into the present moment. And when we do that, we'll notice whatever conditions are happening in our breath, in the body, in the mind. So focus yourself on the breath for a moment. Notice how it's moving in the nose. We can notice the rhythm, the pace, relative degree of smoothness or jerkiness. Ideally, our breath is continuous and about the same length on the exhale and inhale. And notice the muscles all around the nose. There's the eyebrows, forehead, corners of the mouth, the jaw, the tongue. Relaxing through the neck and shoulders as well. And then let that come down through the shoulders into the arms and the hands. Through all those large muscles of the back. In your seat, let yourself be supported in this environment. When we're seated, we need to have some activity in some of the muscles in order to keep ourselves upright. It's a bit different from Shavasana when we can lie completely supported by the floor. When we're sitting, we have to be using some core muscles, and it's a bit of a habit sometimes to engage more than we need to. As we're coming down through the body, notice what you actually need to have engaged and what an engaged muscle feels like. Engagement can be very soft and relaxed. Let go of any contraction, any overdoing it in the body. Coming down through the face, through the neck and the shoulders, down through into the chest now. All those large muscles that surround the rib cage. Stomach muscles. And notice the breath again in this area of the body. Notice how some part of the chest or stomach area is going to be moving with the breath. Notice if you can sit tall so there's lots of room for the diaphragm to move and at the same time be relaxed. Check your shoulders, stomach. Let yourself be supported either by the chair or whatever it is you're sitting on, by the feet on the floor or the earth. And bring your attention to the pelvic floor. There's a band of muscle at the pelvic floor. A Mula Bandha is a lock, a root lock it's called. And when we're working with Agni Sara, it's good to bring our awareness to this part of the body. It's the very lowest part of the pelvic floor. It's that band of tissue and muscle just in front of the anal sphincter muscle. So bring your attention to that area. The Mula Bandha is a lock that helps us to stabilize the energy and prevent it from escaping downward. when we're doing the actual practice of Agni Sara, we'll want to be applying the root lock. So one way that we can work with it is just to bring our attention to that area and see if we can bring a little bit of, not contraction, but just kind of activation into that lowest part of the pelvis, the pelvic floor, into the perineum. And it's almost like we're not doing it all. It's more like we're just bringing our attention there, allowing it to activate a bit. And seeing if you can allow everything around it to be completely relaxed and soft. So this isn't really physical as much as it's an energetic lock. So it's quite subtle. And if you're kind of going, what? I don't get this. Don't worry about it. Just bring your attention there for a bit at the beginning of the practice, and then we'll let that go and move on. And if you're familiar with the lock, or if it feels like you could keep that bit of attention there as we're doing the practice, continue to do that. And now bring your attention into the lower part of your belly as you're breathing, and we're going to continue with what we've been doing through this several days. So as you're exhaling, bringing the lowest part of the belly in towards the spine, pressing those muscles in, and then release smoothly. So whatever your breathing pace was before, don't speed it up, just keep it the same. This exhalation as you're squeezing the lower part of the belly towards the spine. And inhale, slowly release. Keeping your mind focused. The smooth, rhythmic contraction and release of the lower belly muscles towards the spine. And if you can isolate the action of the lower stomach muscles, now you could start bringing in that squeeze coming up a couple of inches higher as well. It's kind of like that rolling pin action. Start the activation with the root lock and then squeezing the lowest part of the belly towards the spine and then bringing that up a few inches, but staying below the navel center. And on the exhale, doing that. On the inhale, releasing in the opposite direction. So release the top part first, then the lower part. Keep the root lock there, that little bit of attention and activation in the perineum. Smooth, even. Check that the rest of your body hasn't gotten involved. Relax your legs, your forehead, your shoulders. Bringing your attention as well to the navel center and the digestive fire at the navel center, the Agni. As you're doing this practice, if you're working with a visualization, allow that digestive fire to become more vibrant, more robust. This healthy activation of the capacity to digest. If you get tired, your muscles get tired, you're feeling like you need to stop, feel free to stop at any time, take a break. Otherwise, continuing this activation at the root lock, squeezing the lower part of the belly into the spine and then a few inches higher. Smooth release as you inhale. Your whole body relaxed from head to toes. Focus your mind on the digestive fire. Letting go of the practice, allowing yourself to just settle, breathe normally without any particular pattern, just allowing the breath to come back to that diaphragmatic breathing pattern. Let go of the root lock, let go of the tension, or if there's any fatigue or tightness in the lower belly muscles, allow those to relax. Bring your attention and rest it into the navel center area again for a moment, to the Agni, the digestive fire. And for a moment, sit with the question, not to really answer with the conscious mind, but just to sit with the question, how is it that I'm experiencing my digestive fire? Is my digestive fire sufficient in vibrancy and robustness to digest my food, to digest my life experiences? Is there anything I can do to support my digestion? Noticing what comes up, if anything, and not getting too involved in it. Just remaining that with that attention at the navel center. This curiosity about the digestive fire right now. And then bring your awareness back again to the breath in the nostrils. Maintaining that awareness of the digestion of the navel center, focusing most of your attention now on the nostrils. Notice which is your active nostril, the one that has more breath flow. Notice the passive nostril. Notice the breath flowing in both. There's the physical experience of the breath in our nose, the cooler air flowing over the membranes of the nose. And then noticing how after the lungs have warmed the air, the flow is a bit warmer. We can let our mind rest with that simple practice, noticing the coolness of the airflow on the inhale and the warmth of the airflow on the exhale. We could also observe that flow of energy between the eyebrow center and the bottom of the nostrils where the air enters. When we're observing the energy flow from the eyebrow center to the base of the nose, it's partly physical and partly subtle. The prana or energy in the body as we're working with seeing how that follows along with the breath, inhaling up to the eyebrow center, exhaling back through the nostrils. As you open the eyes, continue to observe this flow of the breath. With the eyes open, we have other sensory input coming in. And we can also continue to notice the breath, to notice the body, to let that be part of the experience too.